All right, this is the agenda that I will follow. Pretty short agenda tonight. I do want to welcome the new businesses. Shaladia and Associates is an architecture and engineering firm that just moved to the area. And then in Ward 3, we have several businesses in the mall, a tax and accounting service, and you can see Figure Flair, Soccer Jersey, Mary's Beauty Salon, Pet and Toys. And then we have another accounting service, A Tax and Accounting Service. So welcome to all of our new businesses. DPW's been hard at work, and so I just wanted to show a few photos of some of the great things that they're out there doing in the community. They will continue now that the weather has broken a little bit and the roads are they're able to treat some of the roads and do some of the things that we've been waiting on. They are able to get started. Most of you are aware that our human resources officer is also a registered nurse. So Jay has been holding staff certification classes. There is a requirement for staff who interact with youth, some of our police officers, staff that interact with seniors to be CPR certified. As a result, we just require all staff to get certified. It's not as urgent for some, but for those that need to have certification to do their job, we are really grateful that we're now able to do it in-house and don't have to pay for a consultant to come in. So we do appreciate that. I also want to just mention that we've been participating in job fairs and looking for opportunities to participate. So Human Resources just participated in the job fair that was hosted by Employ Prince George's and the Human Resources Department of Prince George's County. There appears, and these are just the latest statistics that I received, that there are over 700 dedicated federal workers that are now looking for work in Maryland. There were more than 40 businesses that attended this job fair, and over 1,000 people, former federal workers that attended. So we'll continue to push that information out to our community and identify any ways that we can to help support. We primarily were focused on our police officers. We did get some applications, but we don't have many openings. And those that we do, we are delaying hiring and trying to do a little bit of creative movement of staff just to try to keep our budget numbers down. So we did go out and talk about some of the police officer positions that we have and the dispatcher positions. I just wanted to highlight a meeting with Ward 4 and 5 on parking zones. Our parking manager, Gary Bullis, met our council members from those wards and did a walkthrough, and they had some concerns about parking in their area. Parking is very limited. So they were briefed on some of the compliance issues and the residential parking zone requirements. In addition, they just did a reminder that commercial vehicle parking is not permitted on residential streets. And let's see, public spaces can't be obstructed, trash cans, cones. So they just talked about a lot of things that we know our residents need to be informed of. So it was a good meeting. Sandra, if you're online, I will let you talk about the seniors on the go and also the youth at the National League of City Conference that was just held recently.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Yes, as you know, we do seniors on the go field trips. That's a picture displaying of our March 13 field trip to downtown Silver Springs, where seniors were able to spend some time together, shop, walk, and have a nice lunch before they return back to the city. On last week on Thursday, we had our display of, it was the closing ceremony for the Creative Minds and Mentes Creativas program. They had an art showcase displaying the art projects that are children in ages 1 to 3 with their parents work throughout this past 8 weeks of cohort they had. So it was a very good turnout. Parents, staff came and supported and saw the little artists work that they did. The next slide, Tracy.
Okay. And yeah, we have some talented little people.
Yep. And the Youth Advisory Council was able to attend the National League Congressional City NLC Congressional City Conference from March 8th to the 10th. The YAC members participated in youth-led workshops and network with youth from all these other Youth Advisory Council throughout the country. They also were able to listen to inspirational speakers and learn how to advocate and be change makers in their community. And we want to thank Council Member Wasak. She's the liaison with that committee. So she was there the whole time supporting the Youth Advisory Council members.
Yeah, this was all day, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So these young people used their weekend in addition to some of our staff. Our youth staff. So it was a very good experience for them. We got a lot of good feedback. Okay, and then the last slide, the last slide before the upcoming events is the budget work sessions. Just want to remind everyone, so we're going to introduce the budget Monday night, next Monday at 7 p.m. And then we'll have a budget work session. That's in person right here at the City Building. That's on Monday the 31st. And another one that'll be followed on Wednesday by April 2nd. We'll publish that schedule. But we broke this up because we got feedback last time that because each of the departments were there, the council members didn't have an opportunity to get around to each table and talk and ask a few questions. So we wanted to break it up so that there was a greater opportunity for some exchange and interaction. Okay. And then weekly offerings, we have the seated exercise class. That's for older adults on Wednesdays, and the free Zumba class, which is also on Wednesdays in the afternoon from 4 to 5. Then we've got some committee meetings. We've got quite a few coming up, and we're going all the way till April 2nd. So that's the Board of Supervisors of Election is meeting tomorrow. Ethics Commission is also tomorrow, 5 to 6. They canceled the Planning Committee meeting, but Code Compliance is on Wednesday, the 19th. Educational Facilities Committee meeting is on Thursday, the 20th at 7 p.m. Education Advisory Committee meeting is on Monday, the 24th. Race and Equity Task Force meeting is on Tuesday, the 25th. Health, Wellness, and Recreation Advisory Committee is on Thursday, the 27th. Board of Supervisors of Elections is meeting again. You know, we do have an election coming up this in a few months. So that's on Tuesday, April 1st. And then the Shade Tree Board meeting is on Wednesday, April 2nd. And some upcoming events. We're still doing fresh produce distribution. We're still getting a lot of turnout for that. So we're keeping that going. That's on Tuesdays, March 18th at First United Methodist Church. Then the Teen Center Cooking Clinic. That's on Wednesday, the 19th. The CERT meeting, and you'll hear from them shortly. That's on Wednesday, the 19th. CFI Grant Information Session. That's the Commercial Facade Information Grant Session. That's for businesses. That's on Thursday, March 20th. Narcan Training, March 20th. Thursday, March 20th, 6 to 7. We're doing both Narcan in English and Spanish. Women Are Forces of Nature, which is a Women's History Month spoken word performance and workshop featuring Dr. Casey Moore and Mariah Barber. And that is on Thursday, March 20th at 6 p.m. here at the City Building in the Prangley Room. Narcan English and Spanish again on Friday, the 21st. And let's see, last day to apply for a higher education scholarship grant. That's important, an important date, Monday the 24th. We'll send out reminders in the community. And then the Teen Center cycling drop-in clinic is Wednesday, March 26th from 5 to 6. A few more upcoming events, commercial facade information session. If you want to get information about that grant, that's on Thursday, the 27th. Seniors on the Go, they're going to the National Postal Museum on Thursday, the 27th. Free diaper distribution on Friday, March 28th. Age-friendly work group meeting, Friday, the 28th. Spring cleaning, bulk waste pop-up, and electronics recycling. That's all on Saturday, the 29th from 10 to 1 at the DPW Center. Residential parking permits are being distributed for Groups 1. That's on Monday, the 31st. Memos and information has gone out, notification to the residents. Hyattsville Youth Mini Camp Day Camp, that's on Monday, March 31st. Renewal for residential parking permits for Group 2 is on Tuesday, April 1st. and Teen Center Cooking Clinic on Wednesday, April 2nd. All right, the last one. Upcoming events, Care Partner Support Group, that's on Friday the 4th. Early Dismissal Camp is on Friday the 4th, 10:30 to 5:30. Teen Exploration Program, Friday, the April 4th from 11 to 3. And Housing Resource Fair. We're going to do another one. We got a lot of good feedback from the last one. That's on Saturday, April 5th from 10 to 2. And Mayor and Council, that's all I have. I will stop share and turn over to Ron to address where people can find the debt service and then take any questions if you have any.
Thank you, City Administrator Douglas. Thank you, council members and the community at large. First, I want to thank those community members who had questions in reference to the aggregate, I'll call it the aggregate overall debt of the city. You can find that aggregate overall debt of the city in the city's most recent audit. Each audit has an update on the aggregate debt now. In the audit, you can find that. Now, in each year within the budget, we present the debt service on the aggregate debt. That's in every annual budget. It will be in this year's budget. What we do not present is the aggregate amount in the budget document itself. Now, can we do that going forward? Absolutely. In the past, I have provided an overview of the aggregate debt to the council members. Just real quick, we retired a lot of debt or defeased a lot of debt up until most recently the last 2 or 3 years when we borrowed additional funds, which is the being transparent for 3505. So I will do an update for those members, council or community people who had that interest today. I will provide an aggregate update of the overall debt, all notes and bonds, and get that out to the council midweek or by the end of the week so they can share that with their community members. Again, will be the aggregate as well, or it will be the aggregate debt. Again, the debt service payments on the aggregate debt is always in the budget. And so it's not excluded for any purpose. I've been doing budgets for well over 20 some odd years. Every community is a little different. The request and the demand for transparent information changes. The budget documents are a working document. They change each and every year. So I look forward to providing, even in this year's budget that we're coming up. It's a late minute change, but I think we can add a section to where we show the aggregate debt as well as just the debt service payments as well. So I hope that's that clears up that particular issue, and look forward to that information. Council members look forward to that information I will send to you on the aggregate amount of debt. I'll go back historically and come forward. And anytime anybody has a question on that, just send me an email and I'll be more than happy to provide that information. Thank you.
Yeah, we worked hard to try to defeat some of that debt. So we did take some of the debt off the books. So we're pretty excited about that. But obviously we've added quite a bit of debt based on the development.
Colleagues,
Mayor, that's all I have.
Thank you. Colleagues, this is the best chance for you to get all your questions answered as opposed to waiting till the end of the meeting. So, Mr. Dennis, would you like to go first?
I was hoping I could go first. Mr. Brooks, can you give us an update on when you think the next audit will be available?
Absolutely. As you know, I'm somewhat behind my deadline that I set to get the FY23 across the finish board. I'm not really happy about that, but again, I'm working with a CPA firm that's moving on. I am in the final draft. I am hoping and demanding, quite frankly, to get that audit across the finish line yet this week before submission of the budget. My hope is so I can certify the general fund balance going forward for 23. The new firm is on board, and we're already doing preliminary work for FY24, and I'm really feel very good about that. Really like the direction and what I see from the new firm coming on. So hopefully they will speed things up for us. I only have certain control over the speed of the audit. So I think this new firm, I'm looking forward to working with this firm. And so, yes, FY23, I am desperately trying to get that across the finish line by the end of this week before we submit the budget.
And for those residents interested, that would have the most recent official aggregate debt value that occurred as of June 30th, 2023.
But to add to that point, Councilman Denny's, is that with the report that I'm going to send to you is going to be, that would be of 2023, but the report I'm going to send to you that you can give to your community members and put them out in your newsletters or your news reports will be the total aggregate currently for all debt.
And I would just add to that Ron is on the phone with those auditors every day, and as he said, this is their last audit with us. They've picked up a lot of new work, and so I can hear a lot of raised voices trying to get them to continue moving this thing forward for us. So we will continue pushing them to get this done. We just don't have a lot of control because they're no longer going to be our auditor of choice.
Thank you both. Is that good, Mr. Dennis?
That works for me.
Thank you. Mr. Redmond.
Thank you, Your Eminence. You get promoted. I think following on the audit trail, I do not fashion myself a financial expert. So if that is the qualification for this job, I will need some additional support and prayer. However, I think what we're challenged with is a communications problem because it's whack-a-mole, if I'm being frank. It's like we answer one question and then another one comes up. And I'm getting to all that to say, is there a way that whatever aggregate document is provided to us also be posted on a website? And we can start directing people there. Will it answer all the questions? Probably not. I think there are far smarter people who can analyze the data, but I think just hearing the public comments tonight, we have a messaging problem in a way, a communications challenge. So that's just the request, if we can put whatever we get on the web for everyone.
Mr. Brooks, can you answer that one?
Yes, thank you, Councilman Redmond. I appreciate your comments. I really do. Certainly, I think I mentioned earlier that we'd be putting that information out as well on the website. You know, over the years, the council changes, and so does the community change, and different people in the community. And so these are not uncommon requests that I've heard before, but this is kind of the first request from this community that I've heard. So certainly we can, again, it's going to ebb and flow as new people come in and out, new people come into the community, new questions and requests, and certainly we could do that. I'm here to address those issues, and so we'll put that out on the website. We'll provide the most recent information to each and every one of you that can get to your community. And so I think that's part of it is communication, but it only comes up when new members of the community or council members requesting different information. I'm here to put that information out for you. It's not to hold the information. That's not what I do. I crank a lot of hours in this place, and so I'm here to help you. Thank you.
And I would also just remind everyone that Laura and her and the communications team, they will be putting out a budget newsletter as well. So we'll look at seeing what we can include in that. We try to keep it to two pages, English and Spanish, just to control costs. But we'll see what we can do in that to help with communication as well, and just reminding people where to go for additional information.
Thank you both. Ms. Lee?
Hi, good evening. Thank you, City Administrator Douglas, for your overview. Can we talk about parking? Kind of highlighted that parking will be up for renewal, but can you give a little bit more insight? You did a high level, you said the different zones, but will people be getting a letter in the mail, or how would they know the procedure and the process of applying for a parking pass?
Yes, we send out reminders to the community. Reggie, you want to take that?
Yes, I can take that. Good evening, everyone. Yes, Councilmember Lee, when folks register for their permits, they give us an email address. And so that they automatically receive emails at the several different intervals, reminding them that the parking permit is due for renewal. We stress people to keep their email addresses current. If in the event their email address is not current, they can certainly go online and update it. Or if anyone needs to actually come in and visit us, to do it the old-fashioned way and request a permit renewal, we can accommodate them in the office. But by and large, most people have already received advance notification as to when their permits are up for renewal, and they are staggered so that they are not all renewed at the same time. And that's why when the city administrator mentioned the dates, you saw the different dates for different zone areas, and we try to accommodate them so that we'll be able to manage all the registrations in a timely manner.
Right,
Okay.
and we are doing them email now. I forgot that in the beginning we were mailing out, but again, we're always looking for ways to cut costs. We'll also make sure that we get that out through our communications department as well, so that notifications go out that way. They probably do, Reggie. I'm just not aware of that. Laura may know.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they've already gone out. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And for those residents who are new to the community, then they can go on the website to find more information.
Certainly can.
Applying for a parking pass.
Certainly can. You can visit Hyattsville.org, and there's a segment on parking which identifies all of the areas that are permit parking zones. You may visit. If you're not certain if you live in a residential parking zone and you don't see the signage around, you can feel free to call the parking department or call the city hall, and they can transfer you to either myself, one of the parking aides, or our parking manager, Mr. Bullis. We'll be happy to identify whether or not you live in a residential parking zone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Solomon.
Thank you. The first thing I wanted to say thank you to the city staff for the responses that were provided around the budget and to residents who had public comment on issues related to the budget. I did want to introduce into the conversation the fact that Hyattsville had its first discussion on our tax rate at our last council meeting, where there was one of two thoughts proposed by council members. One is keeping the tax rate at the same rate, and a brief discussion around potentially lowering it to at least meet the constant yield. And I think some council members talked about a lower rate. And I think that's important to highlight as people raise concerns around our budget, our debt capacity, and questioning whether or not they feel that city staff is acting responsibly, because I think that the fact that we're not having a discussion around increases in this climate is somewhat of a testament to the fact that city staff have done a diligent job of managing our budget. And when we talk about increases, if we look at our neighbors, College Park just proposed a tax rate increase, 4-cent tax rate increase. Bladensburg did a 10-cent tax rate increase last year. And even Mount Rainier has produced a budget where they will exceed the constant yield. And it looks like they're going to land somewhere around a 4-cent tax rate increase. I think that we do have to be responsible and diligent when it comes to our budget and our spending. But I also think that we should recognize that where we are is more than just a Hyattsville concern around budgeting. It is local in the sense that it's affecting municipalities that are close by. But I'm sure that if we look nationally, there is this concern around the management of funds for local governments in what are difficult times for a bunch of governments. So I appreciate the work. I look forward to seeing the budget. My question to city staff was going to be on the comments raised around the apartment complex. And if we have someone who will be reaching out to just follow up with those individuals and follow up with that apartment complex. And also, there used to be a document that was provided from code that talked about measures that residents could take, not with the city of Hyattsville, but at least with the state of Maryland, in terms of filing those concerns. And they had additional penalties for the apartment complex. But I don't know all of those steps and processes in detail, but I wanted to know if there was somebody on staff who's going to reach out to the folks from the apartments who reached out today.
Ms. Ritter, you want to chime in here?
Thank you, Mayor Crosland. Thank you, Councilmember Solomon. Yes, we did receive an email from a couple emails from residents at the apartment complex, and I believe a code inspector is out there this afternoon, and we'll be back out again in the morning and are checking in. I mean, certainly we can, levy citations and do what we can and make sure that we've had the same situation with another apartment building where the same thing happened. So code is on top of it. It doesn't change. It doesn't change that we can't automatically or magically turn the water on, but they are definitely on top of it.